Have you ever carried a feeling so deep, so ancient, that you could never explain it to anyone around you? A knowing that sat quietly in your chest, pulsing like a secret heartbeat. Yet every time you tried to put it into words, people would look at you with confusion in their eyes. Chosen one, you already know that what I'm speaking of isn't just a thought or a mood. It is the echo of something eternal calling you home. And right now, that call is stronger than ever. This isn't by accident. You didn't stumble on this moment. You didn't just happen to click on a video, and you are not here by coincidence. This message was sent to find you. This is sacred timing. The truth is, heaven pressed pause for you. Right now, the veil is thin. What you are about to hear will awaken something you thought was lost. This is not just a set of words. This is a royal invitation, sealed in gold, carried through realms, and placed gently in your path. If you choose to leave now, if you scroll away, you may miss a moment your soul has been crying out for in silence, in dreams, in the darkest nights of your becoming. I need you to hear me clearly. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. Don't walk away from the very thing your spirit begged God to show you, not after all the tears, not after all the waiting. Breathe with me now. Feel the air fill your lungs and soften the tightness in your chest. This is your sign to stay. Mark this moment in time by declaring it. Comment 333, 444, 777, or 999 below, not for the algorithm, but as a witness to your own soul that you showed up for the moment destiny tapped your shoulder. This is how you tell yourself, I am present. I am awake. I am listening. You've been hidden, not forgotten. You've been broken, but not destroyed. Every crack in your life has been a doorway for the light to enter. That ache in your chest that you thought was depression, it was divine memory. A piece of your soul remembering where you came from and what you were born to do. You weren't crazy for feeling different. You were chosen to see what others can't, to carry what others cannot bear, and to walk paths others would never dare. Right now, your angels are drawing close. You may feel a subtle shift in the atmosphere around you. This isn't imagination. It's a spiritual encounter. The air feels heavier. The silence feels charged. Because your soul recognizes the frequency of this moment. This message carries a vibration you've heard before. Maybe in a dream you forgot when you woke up. Maybe in a prayer you didn't have words for. Maybe in the stillness before a tear fell. And now, it's here in the open. Now it's real. Now it's time. I want you to understand that nothing in your life has been wasted. Every delay, every heartbreak, every season where you wondered if heaven was even listening has been preparation for this invitation. You've been walking through fire, not to be burned, but to be forged. You've been stripped, not to be left empty, but so you could be clothed in something greater. And when this royal call arrives, it rarely comes when you feel ready. It comes when your spirit is ready, when the unseen in you has matured enough to step into a higher place. There's a reason this space exists. Whenever the world gets too heavy, whenever you need a place to breathe and remember who you are, this is where you can come to rest your soul. And if this moment is stirring something in you, I need you to do two things: subscribe and hit the bell icon. Not for me, but for you. Because the messages that are coming next will not just inspire you, they will guide you, anchor you, and remind you in the days you feel like forgetting. I can almost see you now, sitting wherever you are, sensing that something is shifting. That's because it is. You've been carrying keys you didn't know you had, and heaven is now placing the door in front of you. The choice is yours. Will you walk through it, or will you convince yourself that now is not the time? Let me tell you this. Your mind will find 100 reasons to wait, but your soul knows that when the royal summons comes, you say yes immediately. So stay with me. Don't drift. Don't let the noise of the world pull you back into the shadows. Your time in hiding has served its purpose. You've been refined. You've been sharpened. You've been called by name. This isn't about being worthy. It's about being willing. All that's asked of you right now is a yes. Stay with me now. What comes next will remind you why you were chosen. There has always been something in you that you could not explain. A quiet hum beneath the noise of your thoughts, a feeling that no matter where you were or what you were doing, you were never entirely home. Chosen one, you already know this whisper. It's been with you since before you even understood language, before you had the words to ask why you felt different from everyone around you. It would surface in moments when the world grew still, a sudden wave of knowing that there was more to your life than the routine, more to your existence than the things you could see and touch. You tried to ignore it, to convince yourself you were just imagining things, but the whisper never went away. It would find you in the strangest moments. While washing dishes, you'd suddenly feel as if someone unseen was watching you with deep love. Walking alone, you'd sense a pull toward a path you couldn't see. Some nights, you'd wake from dreams you couldn't recall but carried into the day as an unshakable emotion, like you'd been somewhere real and important, only to return to a life that felt too small for the size of your soul. The whisper was never loud. It never shouted. It didn't need to. It simply lingered in the edges of your awareness, patient as time itself, waiting for the moment you would stop running from it and start leaning in. The world doesn't tell you what to do with a feeling like that. It teaches you to be practical, to focus on the things you can measure and prove, to silence any voice that doesn't match the pace of everyone else's life. And so you learned to hide it. You learned to wear the mask, to play the role, to pretend you didn't feel everything more deeply than others did. But late at night, when the house was quiet and no one was around to see you, that whisper would return. It wasn't a demand. It was an invitation to remember. You see, the discomfort you felt wasn't a flaw. It was a compass. That restlessness in your chest, that ache when life seemed too ordinary. It was the universe's way of nudging you toward your true path. Many people never hear that whisper at all, or if they do, they dismiss it as fantasy. But you couldn't dismiss it. Not really. No matter how hard you tried to bury it under work, relationships, or distractions, it always found its way back to you. There were times you thought you were broken, that maybe something was wrong with you for not being able to be content with what seemed to make other people happy. You wondered why you could never feel fully at ease, even when you had what you thought you wanted. That's because the whisper was not meant to let you settle. It was meant to remind you that your story would not be written on ordinary paper. Close your eyes for a moment and think of the times the whisper came. Was it a moment of beauty that caught you off guard? The way sunlight broke through the clouds, or the way a certain song made you feel like you were standing on the edge of a memory you'd never lived? Or was it in the heartbreaks, when the loss was so deep you thought you'd never recover, yet something in you knew it was shaping you for something sacred? That's the thing about the whisper. It speaks through both joy and pain. It's not just in the good moments. It's in the cracks, the pauses, the spaces in between. The whisper is how heaven begins to prepare you. Before you can be given the royal invitation, you have to learn the language of your own soul. You have to know how to hear a message that others will miss. This is why you've been pulled away from the noise at times, why life has slowed you down or placed you in stillness. The whisper thrives in silence. It's in that space that your inner compass wakes up and points you toward the unseen. Chosen one, this whisper is not asking for instant answers. It's asking for your trust. It's saying, follow me into the unknown, and I will show you why you were set apart. You don't need to know every step yet. You only need to acknowledge that you hear it, that you feel it, and that you're willing to keep listening. Because every time you listen, The whisper grows stronger, and soon it won't just be a whisper. It will be a voice you recognize as your own soul calling you home. From the very beginning, there was something about you that didn't quite blend in with the rest of the world. Even as a child, you saw things differently. While other kids could lose themselves in the surface of life, you were always looking deeper, asking questions that felt too heavy for your age. You felt emotions in colors so vivid that even small moments could move you to silence. People might have called you sensitive, shy, or strange, but what they didn't see was that you were carrying an awareness far older than your years. Chosen one, you were marked before you even understood what that meant. You may remember times when adults would look at you with an expression they couldn't explain, as if they sensed something about you but couldn't name it. There was a depth in your eyes, an intensity in your silence, and a way you seemed to be listening to something beyond the conversation in the room. While other children played without a thought for tomorrow, you sometimes sat still, lost in a feeling you couldn't describe, almost as if you were remembering a place you hadn't yet been. You didn't have the words for it then, but you knew. Deep down, you knew. Your childhood was probably a mix of wonder and weight. You may have experienced beauty in ways others didn't, finding magic in sunlight through a window, hearing music in the wind, but you also felt pain more sharply. Harsh words pierced you deeper. Injustice burned in your chest longer. You noticed the moods in a room before anyone else spoke. These were not weaknesses, they were signs. You were tuned to a higher frequency, one that allowed you to sense what others couldn't. And that sensitivity was not an accident, it was a preparation. There's a kind of loneliness that comes with being marked like this from birth. You can be surrounded by people and still feel as though no one truly sees you. You learn early on to carry your questions quietly, to protect your dreams from those who wouldn't understand them. But inside, you never stopped feeling that pull towards something beyond the ordinary. Every now and then, a moment would remind you of it. A dream, a sudden intuition, an unshakable knowing. And for a brief second, you would feel as though you were standing on the edge of your true life. Looking back, you can see the patterns now. The way certain events seemed to shape you. The way you were drawn to wisdom far earlier than most. The way you seemed to carry the weight of both past and future in your small hands. Even as you grew, the mark never faded. In fact, it deepened. Experiences that would have hardened others only made you softer in the right places and stronger in the ones that mattered. You learned how to see people's pain even when they were smiling. You learned how to find the thread of light even in a dark room. This mark was never about being better than anyone else. It was about being chosen for something precise, something sacred. The truth is, not everyone is given this kind of sight, because not everyone could bear it. It changes the way you move through the world. You cannot ignore suffering. You cannot close your eyes to truth once you've seen it. You are here to carry a message, even if you don't yet know what it is in full. Chosen one, your soul's mark is the seal of your purpose. It's why certain doors opened for you without explanation, and why others slammed shut even when you wanted them open. It's why some people are drawn to you instantly, while others feel unsettled in your presence. They may not understand it, but they feel it. The mark is not visible to the eye, but it is undeniable in spirit. And whether you have always believed it or not, you have been walking with this mark since your first breath. That's why heaven's royal invitation was always meant to find you. The address was written into your being long before you arrived here. And when the time comes to step into the place prepared for you, this mark will be the key that fits the door no one else can open. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey where the weight of the years begins to press on the mind. You look back and wonder if too much time has slipped through your fingers, if the dreams you once held have already expired, if the seasons you spent in waiting were nothing but delay. You ask yourself if you've missed it, your chance, your moment, your purpose. And in those quiet hours when doubt creeps in, the whisper in your chest almost feels like a cruel reminder of something that will never come. But chosen one, let me show you a truth the world will never teach you. There is no such thing as wasted time in the hands of heaven. The world moves fast. It measures worth by speed, success by deadlines, and value by how quickly you can produce results. But divine timing is nothing like human timing. It is not rushed, it is not pressured, and it does not follow the anxious clock of culture. You have not been late, you have been aligning. Every pause, every detour, every season that felt like standing still was in fact a season of shaping. A seed in the ground is not wasting time just because it has not yet broken the surface. It is being prepared in the dark for a moment of unstoppable growth. There is a reason you did not step into certain things earlier. There were lessons that could only be learned in the waiting, strengths that could only be built in the quiet, and a depth that could only come from walking through the valley instead of taking the shortcut. Carl Jung once said, "No tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." You have been growing roots, deep, unseen, and unshakable. And now, the strength of those roots will sustain you when your season of visibility begins. I know there were moments you were tempted to believe the lie that you'd fallen behind, that others had raced ahead while you were still trying to find your footing. But those who rush to the top without foundation crumble quickly. You have been given something different, a foundation built through endurance, patience, and trust. It has been hidden, but it has not been idle. And when heaven calls you forward, you will not have to scramble to become ready. You will already be ready, because the preparation has been happening all along. Think of the people and places that are no longer in your life. At the time, their absence might have felt like a loss or even a failure, but now you can see how those endings cleared the space for what is truly meant to arrive. If certain doors had opened earlier, they would have been too small to contain what you've become. If certain opportunities had come sooner, you would have stepped into them before your spirit was fully formed. The delay was not a denial, it was an act of protection. When you see your life through this lens, regret begins to dissolve. You realize that not a single tear was wasted, not a single season was empty, not a single day was without purpose. Even the times you thought you had lost your way were woven into the greater map of your becoming. The truth is, your destiny has been moving toward you just as surely as you have been moving toward it. There is no missing it, because it was written into your very being. So breathe and let go of the idea that you have to catch up. You are not behind. You are right on time. The same hand that started your story is the one guiding your steps now. And when the royal invitation arrives, it will not come with a note saying you should have been ready years ago. It will come with the weight of perfect timing, the kind that makes you say, if this had come any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to hold it. That moment, chosen one, will prove that your waiting was never wasted. There is a sacred mystery in the years when nothing seems to be happening. The world calls them wasted time, dead seasons, or periods of failure, but heaven calls them preparation. Chosen one, you have walked through stretches of life where the silence felt unbearable, where doors stayed closed no matter how hard you knocked, where the people you thought would walk with you slowly faded away. You wondered if you had been forgotten, if your purpose had been misplaced, if all your prayers had fallen into an empty sky. But those hidden years were not a punishment, they were a holy appointment. In the hidden years, heaven does its most delicate work. This is where your roots grow deeper than your branches can yet reach, where your heart is reshaped, your patience is stretched, and your vision is refined. It is where you are stripped of everything you thought defined you, so you can be rebuilt on a foundation that cannot be shaken. The womb is dark, but it is the safest place for new life to form. The cocoon is still, but it is where the caterpillar dissolves into something unrecognizable before it emerges in beauty. The desert feels empty, but it is where prophets are prepared, voices are sharpened, and faith is made unbreakable. These hidden years have a way of making you feel invisible. You watch others being celebrated while you labor in obscurity. You see people receive opportunities you prayed for, and it feels like you have been overlooked. But invisibility is not the same as insignificance. Sometimes heaven hides you because the world is not yet ready for the weight of what you carry. Sometimes you are concealed because premature exposure would damage what is still growing within you. The silence is not absence, it is a shield. It is in these seasons that you are taught to hear the whisper more clearly, to sense the unseen, to trust without visible proof. The noise of the crowd cannot reach you here, and though your mind may resist it, your spirit knows this place is necessary. For when your time comes, you will not just step into your calling, you will be the kind of person who can remain in it. Many people can start well, but only those who have endured the hidden years can finish well. Look back now and see the quiet miracles that happened in those seasons. The strength you built when no one was watching. The resilience that came from carrying your pain alone. The lessons that could never be learned in the spotlight. The way you learned to depend on an inner light when everything around you went dark. Those were not empty days. They were sacred days. Chosen one. Your hidden years have carved out a depth in you that will become your greatest strength. You have been prepared in ways you do not yet understand. The womb, the cocoon, the desert. These places are not where dreams die. They are where dreams are formed, tested and strengthened for the moment they will be born. When you step out of them, you will not be the same as when you entered. And when the royal invitation is placed in your hands, you will recognize it instantly, because it will fit the shape of the person you became in the hidden years. There is a weight that comes with being chosen that no one prepares you for. The world might think it is a privilege, that it means constant blessings and open doors. But you know the truth. Being chosen often feels like carrying a fire that burns in your chest while everyone else walks in the cool shade. It is a call that sets you apart, and with that separation comes a cost that most cannot see. You have felt it in the relationships that shifted without warning, in the moments when people pulled away for reasons they could never fully explain. In the subtle ways your presence has stirred something in others they were not ready to face. Chosen one, you have a frequency that exposes what prefers to remain hidden. Your very being is a mirror that reflects truth, and not everyone can stand to see themselves so clearly. Sometimes it is not even about what you say or do, it is about what you carry. Light reveals, and revelation can be uncomfortable. People may misinterpret your quietness as judgment, your standards as pride, your independence as rejection. They may turn away, not because you have harmed them, but because your existence reminds them of the changes they are not yet ready to make. This unseen cost can feel like loneliness. There are times when you long for simple companionship, for someone to fully understand your heart without needing you to explain. But the deeper your calling, the fewer people can walk the entire road with you. It's not because you are unworthy of love or connection, it's because your path is narrow, and the higher you climb, the fewer souls are willing or able to make that journey. The ones who can will meet you at heights you have yet to reach. Until then, you walk with your angels, and that is not a lesser company. You have also felt the cost in the resistance you've encountered when trying to grow. It's as if invisible forces rise up to challenge every step forward. Opportunities slip away at the last moment. Plans collapse without reason. You face opposition not because you are on the wrong path, but because you are on the right one. When you carry a destiny that can shift the atmosphere, there will always be resistance before release. It is the law of the spirit. The brighter the light, the stronger the shadows that gather before it. Sometimes the cost shows up in how deeply you feel the world's pain. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. but it means you often absorb more than most can bear. You sense the heaviness in a room before anyone speaks. You feel the unspoken grief in someone's eyes. And while others can walk away untouched, you carry pieces of those moments with you. This is why solitude becomes both a necessity and a gift. It is in that quiet space that you can release what you've taken in, that you can lay it down before the one who called you and find your center again. The cost is also in what you must let go of. People, places, habits, and even dreams that once felt like home will no longer fit the person you are becoming. Letting go is never easy, but chosen ones understand that holding on to what has expired will only slow the journey. You have had to close doors you didn't want to close, walk away from tables where you once felt welcome, and say no to things that still looked good, but no longer aligned with your spirit. This too is part of the unseen cost. But here is the truth. Every cost has been an investment. Every tear you've shed, every lonely night, every rejection, every ending has been a deposit into the future you are about to step into. The royal invitation that is coming is not just an honor. It is the moment when all those hidden sacrifices make sense. You have paid a price in silence, and heaven has been keeping the record. Nothing has been lost. Nothing has gone unseen. And when the doors open, they will open wide enough to carry not just your reward, but the proof that every cost was worth it. Somewhere along the road, the noise of the world began to drown out the voice inside you. That inner compass, the one that once pointed you toward truth without hesitation, started to feel faint, clouded by the opinions of others, the weight of past mistakes, and the constant pull of distractions. Chosen one, you were born with a navigation system that does not rely on maps or directions. It lives in your chest, in the deep place where intuition and spirit meet. And though you may feel like you've lost it, the truth is, it has never left you. It has only been waiting for you to listen again. From the time you were small, you could sense when something wasn't right before it revealed itself. You could feel when someone's smile didn't match their energy, when a path looked safe but carried unseen danger, when a choice felt heavy even though it seemed logical. That was your compass speaking. It has always been there to protect you, to guide you toward the places where your soul could grow and away from the places that would strip you of your light. But somewhere along the way, life taught you to question it. Perhaps it was the voices of people you trusted telling you to be more practical, to stop imagining things, to ignore the pull of your own knowing. Maybe it was the pain of making a choice you thought was right, only to be met with disappointment, and you decided it would be safer to let others choose for you. Or maybe you simply forgot what your own voice sounded like after years of following the crowd. But now, you are being called to return. Breathe with me now. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Notice the quiet space between each breath. That is where your compass lives. It does not shout, it whispers. It does not rush, it waits. And when you learn to be still long enough, its direction becomes unmistakable. The thread in the dark, the subtle nudge, the image that flashes in your mind for no reason. These are not random. They are your inner navigation pulling you back into alignment. Trusting it again will require practice. At first, the signals may feel faint. You might second-guess yourself. You might wonder if you're making it up. But each time you follow its lead, the voice grows stronger. You begin to notice that the days you feel most at peace are the ones where you listened, even if the choice didn't make sense to anyone else. You see that the most dangerous moments were the ones when you ignored it, and you vow not to make that mistake again. The compass is not always convenient. Sometimes it will lead you away from what looks safe, into a season that feels uncertain. But it will never lead you into destruction. It is tuned to the frequency of your highest good, to the destiny your soul agreed to before you were even born. And while others may need signs, proof, or permission, you have been given something far more precious: a built-in guide that will never betray you. Chosen one, the royal invitation you are about to receive will require you to lean on this compass more than ever before. The doors will open quickly, opportunities will come in waves, and not every one of them will be meant for you. Your mind may be tempted by the glitter of some paths, but your compass will know which one holds your true gold. Trust it, follow it. Even if it means walking alone for a while, walk in the direction it points. You have not lost your way. You have simply been circling the point where your inner and outer worlds will meet again. And when they do, you will move with a confidence that does not come from knowing every step ahead, but from knowing the one who guides each step. Your compass is ready, chosen one. All you have to do is take the first step in trust. There comes a time in the life of a chosen one when the summons arrives, not in the form of an email or a letter you can hold in your hands, but as a deep, undeniable knowing in your spirit. It is the moment you realize a chapter is over, not because it fell apart, but because it has been fulfilled. This is the royal recall, the moment when heaven signals that the first wave of its chosen are being called forward into their next assignment. And chosen one, if you are hearing this, you are among them. You may have noticed it already. The things that once felt alive now feel complete. The rooms you used to walk into with energy now feel too small. The conversations you once poured yourself into now leave you empty. There is no bitterness in this feeling, only the quiet ache of outgrowing what you once loved. It is not that those places or people have lost their value, it is that your soul has finished its work there. You have sown the seeds you were meant to sow, and now the soil is no longer yours to tend. This is where the grief comes in, the part no one warns you about. Outgrowing something you love is still a kind of loss. Even when you know it is right to move on, there is a mourning for what will no longer be. You may find yourself remembering the early days of certain relationships, the first moments you walked into a space that now feels foreign, the seasons when you felt completely at home in a place that no longer fits you. That grief is sacred. It is the soul's way of honoring what once was before stepping into what will be. The royal recall is not about abandoning the past. It is about honoring it and then releasing it so you can carry only what is needed into the future. Imagine a gate in the sky, slowly opening just for you. Beyond it lies a landscape you have never seen, but which feels strangely familiar, like a dream you have been waiting to wake into. To step through, you must travel light. The baggage of unfinished conversations, unresolved guilt, or the need for everyone's understanding will only weigh you down. This is why the recall often comes with sudden clarity. You just know what you can no longer carry. Some will not understand your departure. They may feel abandoned. They may question your timing or your motives. But remember this, the royal recall is not issued by people. It is issued by heaven. You are not leaving because you are dissatisfied. You are leaving because you are being summoned. You are not rejecting anyone. You are responding to the one who called you before the world ever knew your name. When the first wave is recalled, it is because a new season requires leaders, healers, and vision bearers who have been tested in the silence and proven in the unseen. You are part of that first wave because your preparation has been long, your roots are deep, and your spirit has learned to trust beyond sight. This next season is not about proving yourself. It is about stepping into the role you were shaped for when no one was watching. And here is the beauty. The recall does not mean the second wave is less important. It simply means you are among those who will help open the way for others to follow. You will be the ones to plant the first flags, to speak the first words into the new space, to carry the first light across the threshold. You are being asked to go ahead so that when the others arrive, they will find a place already prepared. Chosen one. The gate is opening. You feel it in your spirit even now. The air is charged. The pace of your life is shifting, and opportunities are beginning to align in ways you could not have forced if you tried. This is your sign that the recall has begun. All that is left for you to do is say yes, without hesitation, without fear, without the need for every answer. The royal summons does not wait, and those who recognize it know that when it comes, you answer immediately. There will come a moment, chosen one, when the very people who doubted you, dismissed you, or overlooked you will begin to notice your absence. At first, they may not think much of it. They will assume you are still where you've always been, still accessible, still within reach. But as time passes, they will feel the shift. They will search for the version of you they once knew, only to realize that person no longer exists. You have been transformed, elevated, and moved to a place they cannot follow unless they too have been prepared for it. This change does not happen overnight. It is the result of years of growth, of inner work done in silence, of battles fought in the unseen. Slowly, you begin to shed the layers that kept you bound to old patterns and places. Your energy shifts, your vision sharpens, and your spirit begins to outgrow the spaces where you once fit so easily. At first, you may try to stay, to keep yourself small so others will feel comfortable, but the call on your life will not allow you to shrink forever. Eventually, you must step into the fullness of who you are becoming. When that happens, your presence will no longer be a constant in the lives of those who took it for granted. They will feel the void. They will look for your voice, your guidance, your light, and find only echoes of what once was. Some will miss you out of love and respect. Others will miss you because your absence forces them to face truths they once avoided. You will become, in a way, untouchable. Not because you have closed your heart, but because your new level is protected ground. It will be tempting to look back when you see them searching for you, to return for just a moment, to remind them you are still here. But part of your transformation will be understanding that your absence is now the message. You are no longer meant to stand where you once stood. If you return to what you have outgrown, you will dim the very light that your journey was meant to ignite. The butterfly cannot go back to the cocoon, and neither can you. Some will try to pull you back, to convince you that you belong where you left. They will speak to the old version of you, the one they knew how to reach, hoping to draw you into familiar patterns. But you have seen too much, learned too much, and felt too much to ever fit back into that mold. Your wings are not meant for cages, no matter how comfortable they once felt. Understand this. Your departure is not rejection. It is evolution. You are not disappearing out of spite. You are moving toward the destiny that has been calling you for years. The journey ahead requires focus, energy, and commitment to your higher path. And while it may hurt to leave some faces behind, you will learn to bless them from afar, knowing that your light will still reach them in ways your presence never could. There will come a day when you hear your name spoken in rooms you no longer enter, when stories about you reach your ears from voices you haven't heard in years. Some will speak with admiration, others with confusion, and a few with regret. But none of that will matter, because you will have already stepped into the place where their opinions can no longer define you. They will look for you, and you will be gone. Not lost, not hiding, but living in the space that was prepared for you all along. And from that space, you will understand why every ending was necessary, why every separation was sacred, and why the call to move forward was never meant to be negotiated. Chosen one, your path is upward now, and those who are meant to join you will find their own wings in time. Until then, you keep flying. There comes a moment in a chosen one's journey when the slow, steady pace you have endured for years suddenly begins to shift. At first, it feels subtle, like a faint change in the wind. You may not even realize it's happening until you look back and see how quickly things have begun to move. This is the season of acceleration, the moment when heaven begins to align events, people, and opportunities in ways you could never have orchestrated on your own. Chosen one, you have walked through the waiting, you have endured the silence, you have been refined in the hidden years, and now the pace is about to change. In this season, what once took years will take months, what once took months will take weeks, and what once took weeks will seem to happen overnight. But acceleration is not chaos. It is divine timing, finally releasing what has been prepared for you all along. It is as if the dam that has been holding back the river breaks, and the waters you've been longing for come rushing in all at once. This is not because you suddenly became more worthy or more qualified. It is because the fullness of time has arrived. You may have noticed signs of this already. The right conversations begin to happen without you forcing them. Doors you once knocked on endlessly without an answer suddenly swing open. People who once overlooked you now seek you out. Ideas come to you in flashes, as if dropped into your mind from somewhere higher. These are not coincidences. They are the ripple effects of the shift that has taken place in the unseen. You have crossed an invisible threshold, and now what was once in the distance is stepping into your present. But with acceleration comes a new kind of responsibility. The speed at which things move will require discernment. Not every opportunity that appears is meant to be taken, and not every voice that calls your name is meant to be answered. In this season, your compass, the inner knowing you've been learning to trust, will be your anchor. You must be willing to pause, even when everything around you is moving fast, and ask yourself, is this alignment, or is this distraction dressed as opportunity? Acceleration can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. It may feel like you are finally in the flow, like the universe is leaning in to help you. But it can also stir a quiet fear. Fear that you will not be able to keep up. Fear that you will make the wrong choices. Fear that you will somehow lose what you've waited so long for. Chosen one. This is where you must remember. The same hand that guided you through the wilderness is the hand guiding you through the flood. You are not meant to strive in this season. You are meant to glide. There is also a truth you must hold close. Acceleration is not just about blessings coming to you. It is about you being sent into places and moments that need what you carry right now. Just as your opportunities will come quickly, so will your assignments. You may be called to speak into situations you weren't expecting, to help someone in a way that feels spontaneous but is perfectly timed, to plant seeds in the hearts of those who will one day bear fruit from your words. The acceleration is not for your comfort, it is for your purpose. You will also notice that some connections will naturally fall away in this season. As the pace increases, those who are not aligned with your path will not be able to keep up. This is not something you need to force or explain. The acceleration itself becomes a filter, allowing only those who are meant to walk with you to remain in step. And though it may sting to see certain faces fade into the background, you will come to understand that this clearing makes space for the people and opportunities that are truly meant for you. In acceleration, time feels different. Days carry the weight of months, and months feel like entire seasons. You will accomplish more, but it will not be through strain. It will be through alignment. The energy you once wasted on trying to force outcomes will now be directed toward what is naturally unfolding. You will find that even your words carry more weight, your presence more influence, your actions more reach. This is not because you have changed overnight, but because the appointed moment for your impact has arrived. And yet, acceleration does not mean you rush blindly ahead. It means you move with precision. Just as an arrow is released only after being pulled back, you are being launched now because you have been positioned, aimed, and refined. The velocity is a gift, but the direction is the mission. You are not just moving fast, you are moving true. Chosen one, This is the moment you have been prepared for. You will not miss it, because it is not just coming to you, it is coming through you. The pace will feel different, but it will feel right. Every step will carry the weight of destiny. Every encounter, the possibility of transformation. You are no longer in the slow unfolding, you are in the divine quickening. And when heaven accelerates you, there is no force on earth that can slow you down. This is your season of acceleration. Say yes to it, not with fear, but with readiness. Stay anchored in your compass, stay open to the flow, and trust that every step is ordered. What once took years will now take moments, and those moments will be enough to change everything. You are ready. The river has been released. Step into it, and let it carry you where you were always meant to go. There is a point in every chosen one's journey when all the fragments of your life finally come together, when the scattered pieces of your story align in a way that makes sense for the first time. You realize that every step, every detour, delay, heartbreak and breakthrough was not random. It was all leading here. This is the crowning moment, the fulfillment of promises whispered to your spirit long before you had the strength to carry them. Chosen one, this is the day heaven places in your hands what you have been prepared to hold. The crowning moment rarely arrives with loud announcements. More often, it begins quietly, like dawn breaking after a long night. You notice it in the way your spirit feels lighter, in the way peace begins to rest on you like a familiar friend, in the way opportunities seem to stand and wait for you instead of rushing past. There is no panic here, no frantic scramble, just the deep knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The crown does not come because you chased it. It comes because you became the kind of person who could wear it. When the crown is placed, it is not simply a symbol of honor. It is a mantle of responsibility. It signifies that you are ready to stand in the fullness of who you are, not for recognition, but for service. You are no longer operating from survival. You are moving from overflow. What once felt heavy to carry now feels natural because it fits you perfectly. This is why the process took so long, because heaven was shaping you so the weight of the crown would not break you. You may find yourself standing in places you once only dreamed of, speaking words you once kept hidden, holding the attention of people who once overlooked you. But more than that, you will feel the quiet authority that comes from having walked the long road. You have been tested, and you have been found steady. You know what it costs to arrive here, and that cost has made you both humble and unshakable. You do not need to prove yourself anymore. The proof is in the journey that brought you here. There will be those who look at you now and see only the crown, not the years of struggle that forged the strength beneath it. They will see the glory, but not the nights you wept alone, the victories, but not the battles fought in silence. That is part of the mystery of being chosen. Your preparation was hidden so that your unveiling could be pure. You will not need to explain yourself. The fruit of your life will speak for you. In your crowning moment, you will also see clearly why certain doors never opened before. They were not denied. They were delayed until you could walk through them without losing yourself. You will understand why certain relationships ended, why certain seasons felt endless, why you had to walk away from what was comfortable. Every loss will now appear as a divine exchange, making room for something better, something truer, something unshakably yours. And yet, the crown is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter. It is a signal that your role in the story has expanded. The influence you carry now is not for personal gain, but for the impact you are meant to have on others. This is the time when your words can open doors for those who are still waiting in their hidden years, when your presence can spark the courage for someone else to say yes to their own calling. The crown is not a destination, it is a tool. You may feel a wave of gratitude so deep it brings you to tears. You will remember the moments you thought you wouldn't make it, the days when giving up felt easier than holding on. But here you are, standing with the crown in place, not because you never stumbled, but because you refused to stay down. This is your reminder that resilience is the quiet magic that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary testimonies. Chosen one, wear your crown with humility and with courage. Let it remind you that you are both a servant and a sovereign, responsible for the light you carry and free to walk in the fullness of your destiny. Do not be afraid of the weight, it was measured for you. Do not shrink from the responsibility, it was entrusted to you. And do not doubt that you belong here. You were chosen for this before the foundation of the world. In this moment, pause and breathe it in. Feel the gold of the crown against your spirit. Let the years of waiting fade into the background. This is not just a reward, it is a commissioning. Your life will never be the same from this point forward, and neither will the lives you are about to touch. This is the crowning moment. Step into it fully, knowing that every step from here is the continuation of a story that will echo far beyond your lifetime. You are ready. You have been prepared. And now, it is time to reign. Chosen one, take a deep breath and let this truth settle in your spirit. The signs you have been feeling are real. The shift you have sensed is not your imagination. Every moment of silence, every delay, every unanswered question has been leading to this divine point in time. You have not been punished. You have been prepared. The quiet seasons were never empty. They were sacred training grounds where your roots went deep enough to hold the weight of what is now unfolding. The royal invitation is not a distant promise. It is here, alive in this moment. You are standing in the threshold between what was and what will be, and all of heaven leans in, waiting for your answer. This is your call to say yes, not with hesitation, not with fear, but with the certainty of one who knows they were born for this. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to rise, to walk in the fullness of your calling, to carry light into places that have been waiting for you. Remember this. Your journey was never about proving yourself to the world. It was about becoming the person your soul promised to be. Every challenge shaped your courage. Every loss refined your heart. Every closed door redirected your steps toward the place you were always meant to stand. And now you are standing here, ready, steady, and unshaken. In the days ahead, things will move quickly. Alignments will happen faster than you expect. People you thought were gone forever may resurface, not to pull you back, but to witness who you have become. And opportunities will present themselves like keys to doors you didn't even know existed. Your task is not to chase, but to discern. Say yes to what resonates with your compass, and release what no longer carries life. The world may try to distract you, to make you doubt your timing. But you must remember, heaven's clock is perfect. You have arrived in your appointed moment, and nothing can take from you what has been written with your name on it. You are not late and you are not early. You are exactly on time. So walk forward now with the quiet confidence of one who knows they are chosen. Let your steps be steady, your voice be sure, and your heart remain open to the guidance that has never failed you. The crown is on your head, the invitation is in your hands, and the path ahead is lit with the light you carry. If this message has reached the deepest part of you, seal this moment. Comment 1111 or 333 below, not for the sake of the numbers, but as a declaration to your own spirit that you heard the call and answered it. This is your signature in the unseen realm, marking the moment you chose to step into your higher destiny. And know this, whenever the world grows too heavy, whenever you feel your light flicker, this space will be here for you. Come back to rest your soul, to remember who you are, to be reminded of the truth that cannot be erased. You were chosen, you are chosen, and you will always be chosen. Now rise, and walk into the life that has been waiting for you.